Hello everyone, Ziyav on this side. So today hand we are dealing with a topic called as joints and their types. Okay, so let's get started. So basically, joints are the point of contact. Joints are the point of contact between bones or between the bones and cartilage. Okay, go through. Now, the force generated by the muscle is used to carry The force generated by the muscle is used to carry out movement through joints. Now basically the question will be rising that how come the force is getting generated by means of muscle. Okay. So starting with the first thing first. Basically we are eating food, correct? Okay. And the food contains glucose, correct? Okay. This glucose will undergo glycolysis. Okay. Deal with. Now and this glycolysis will be providing us ATP. Okay, this is ATP. Now this ATP is responsible for generation of the force. Okay, go through. So the force are generated by the muscle first, and then this force is used to carry out the movement between through the joints. Here the joints will be acting as fulcrum point. Okay, go through. Now, the movability at this joint vary, which means all joints are not same. Rather, the movability does varies depending on the different factors. Okay. Basically, there are different types of joints, but here we'll be dealing. They are classified into three major structural forms. The first called as a fibrous, the second one is called as a cartilaginous, and the third one is called as synovial. So basically, starting with the first thing first. So here the first joint is called as fibrous joint, which do not allow any movement. Okay, which do not allow any movement, and this type of joint is shown by the flat skull bones. Okay, so basically the bones which are present in the skull, the flat skull bones which are fused end to end, the bones which are fused end to end with the help of the dense fibrous connective tissue in the form of the sutures are also called as sockets. Okay, so in the form of sockets to form the cranium. So basically if the bones are attached by means of sutures or socket, they will never show any kind of movement because they are not properly free. Okay, go through. So here with the help of dense fibrous connective tissue in the form of sutures, they do not allow any movement. Dealing with the second one type of the joints, that is called as cartilaginous joints. So here the bones which are involved are joined together with the help of cartilage. So here cartilage is playing an important role, and the joint between the adjacent vertebrae in the vertebral column. Do remember one thing, that the joint between the vertebrae is basically made up of cartilage. So here the joint between the adjacent vertebrae in the vertebral column is of the pattern of cartilaginous joint, which permits limited movement, which means it's not properly flexible, but rather it's not like something like it does not allow any movement. No, it does allow movement, but that is basically limited movement. Okay, now dealing the synovial joint. So here the synovial joints are characterized by the presence of a fluid, called as synovial fluid. Okay, the presence of a fluid called as synovial fluid, and the cavity in which the fluid present is called as synovial cavity. Okay, it is present between the articulating surface, which means like whenever the two bones are articulating to each other, it is present between the articulating surface of the two bones, and such arrangement does allow considerable movement. So basically among all these three, synovial joints are the one which does allow enough amount of the movement. So these joint help in locomotion and many other movements as well. So basically if I'll be going for the movement and the locomotion, like just moving our limbs, our forelimbs and the hind limbs, so ultimately it do not goes for the locomotion, but if moving our limbs with the help of changing our position will be called as locomotion, and the synovial joints does plays an important role in the locomotion. So the types of the synovial joints are, the first one will be called as a ball and the socket joint. Okay, the ball and the socket joint, which is present in the humerus and the pectoral girdle. That is what we call as the glenoid cavity. Okay, the glenoid cavity. So between the humerus and the pectoral girdle, somehow like I'll be just drawing, this is the ball for me and this is something like the socket. Okay, so this will be the ball and the socket joint. So here these joint help in the locomotion and the other movement as well. The first one will be the ball and the socket between the humerus and the pectoral girdle. Then we can go for the hinge joint as well, which allows limited movement properly. Like I'll be going for the ball in the socket allows 360-degree rotation. Okay, 360 rotation, whereas the hinge joint will be allowing you 180-degree rotation. For example, like the opening of the door. So we can open a door in one direction only. We cannot go for the second direction or the opposite direction. So it will be showing you 180-degree rotation only. Okay, go through. The third joint of the synovial is called as the pivoted joint, which is present between the vertebrae, the first and the second vertebrae. The first vertebrae is called as atlas, the second is axis. Both of them are joined together by means of pivoted joint. Okay, go through. And on like the next will be called as a gliding joint. The gliding joint, which is present between the carpals or the wrist bone or the wrist bone. The gliding joints are present between the wrist bone. Okay, and the saddle joint. The saddle joint is between the carpal and the metacarpal. The carpal and the metacarpal. That is called as the saddle joint. Okay, go through. Metacarpal of the thumb. Basically, like the metacarpal of the thumb and the carpal will be called as the saddle joint. So all of them are once again ball and socket between the humerus and the pectoral girdle. Hinge joint between the knee joint. There is a hinge joint which is in the knee joint, which is allowing the movement in one single direction only. Pivoted joint between the atlas and the axis, which is the first and the second vertebrae. Gliding joint is between the carpals only, which means the wrist bone. Saddle joint between the carpal and the metacarpal of thumb only. Okay, go through. Now in brief, we'll be dealing with the disorders of the muscular and the skeletal system as well. Okay, so the first thing first is here called as mesothenia gravis. Okay, it's the mesothenia gravis. So we'll be dealing with this. The first one is the mesothenia gravis. It is an autoimmune disorder. It is an autoimmune disorder. So basically the meaning of the autoimmune disorder is like the own body's immune cells are against own body. Okay, so the subject's own immune cells are against its body. So basically this disorder affects the neuromuscular junction. This disorder affects the neuromuscular junction, which leads to fatigue. Okay, which leads to fatigue, weakening and the paralysis of skeletal muscle. So go through. Now if I'll be dealing with here, it's the second one will be called as a muscular dystrophy. Okay, the second one will be called as muscular dystrophy. So here the second one, muscular dystrophy, is something like the progressive degeneration of skeletal muscle. Okay, progressive degeneration of skeletal muscle, mostly due to the genetic disorder. So basically the muscular dystrophy is genetic disorder, and if I'll be going for, it is autosomal recessive disorder. Muscular dystrophy is autosomal recessive disorder. Do remember the case. Now dealing with the tetanus or the tetany. It's a rapid spasm, which is a contraction, wild contraction in the muscle due to low calcium level. Due to low calcium level in the body fluid. Do remember one thing, that the causative agent of tetanus is Clostridium. Yes, Clostridium tetani. Okay, deal with it is the Clostridium tetani, which is the causative agent of tetanus. Now dealing with one of the common thing called as arthritis. It is responsible for the inflammation of joint, or it is caused by the inflammation of joints because of the lack of the synovial fluid. Okay, or increased friction between the joints or the bones and bones. Now dealing with the osteoporosis. What does this mean? So basically the osteoporosis is age-related disorder which is carried out by decreased bone mass. Decreased bone mass. Okay, and if the bone mass is decreased, which means the increased chances of the fractures. Increased fracture chances. Okay, increased fracture chance. So do remember one thing, whenever the bone mass is decreased, there is a chance of increasing the fracture. And basically the osteoporosis is observed in the women of menopause. The women of who has passed the menopause, who are near the age or like after the age of the menopause. Okay, because this is caused by decreased level of estrogen. Decreased level of estrogen. Okay, go through. It is caused by the decreased level of estrogen here. The decreased level of estrogen is a common issue. The last but not the least one, it is called as gout. Basically, the gout is caused by the inflammation of the joint due to accumulation of uric acid crystals. Due to the accumulation of uric acid crystal, many of the sports personalities have been retired. They have taken premature retirement because of the accumulation of the uric acid in their body. Okay, that condition will be called as gout. Okay, go through now. Hopefully this lecture has been beneficial for you guys. Thank you very much for so much support. If you do have any kind of questions, you can ask me there in the comment section. Thank you.